Honestly, I cannot believe what some of these stories are coming out about banks and how banks are stealing people's money, will not give them their money. And this is why I continue to say you should pull some of your money out of the bank. Do not keep 100% of your money in the bank. It is just a horrible idea. But again, this isn't financial advice, but I want to make sure that you understand that sometimes having some money on hand is the best option. Now, before I get into the reasons as to why you should pull some of your money out of the bank, I want to give you something special that I use on all of my credit cards. And yes, I use this on every single one of my credit cards. And no, I don't use debit cards. Now, what is this? Well, it's a financial tool. It's called Dosh. I want to show you this. So if you go to Dosh, and I'll put a link to Dosh down in the description box below, but if you go to Dosh and you, all you got to do, you sign up, you put in a credit card or a debit card, and let's say you go buy something at Walmart or at Pizza Hut or GNC or Disney Plus or Ollie, doesn't matter. What happens is that as long as you use that card, that Dosh will then give you a little bit of money back. They'll give you cash back. It's kind of like using something like Honey online, but Dosh is a physical one. Now, it's a great tool. Absolutely love it. I use it all the time. And if you go and use the link down in the description box below, you will get $10 just for signing up, activating a card, and then using it to purchase whatever you want. So if you want to go and use that, I highly recommend it. I use it on every single one of my credit cards. Now, here's what's going on. And this is what's very frustrating about everything is a lot of people are getting screwed. Now, if you look at banks over in Europe, obviously things are just a disaster. Okay, the bond market is going to struggle, especially come Friday, because Friday's kind of the deadline where the bond market, we'll get into that in a different video. But again, because that is a complete, cluster, F. But, just understand there's reasons why you shouldn't have all your money in the banks, right? There's reasons why you shouldn't have all your money tied up in the stock market or in cryptocurrencies or in real estate. And that's the purpose of diversification. But here's what's going on. This is happening all across the country. And I keep hearing horror stories from people that can't take their money out of the banks. Banks are telling them that they don't have the money. The banks will give them a partial payment, but then they say come back a few days later and you can get the rest. Now, and let me know if you've heard stories like this or if you've actually experienced this, because I experienced this just recently. And for a lot of people, maybe don't follow me here on this channel or haven't for a while, what you need to understand is, I like to buy and sell cars. Well, I buy and sell cars with cash. People don't trust you if you walk up with a check because of obviously fraud and counterfeits, whatever, right? Or if the check just bounces and they give you and sign off on the car and you give them a check that bounces, well, that's no good. That's not a good transaction, right? And so people want cash. Well, I got to hold cash. And just recently, I couldn't pull out any money. Couldn't pull out money because I just went the day before and pulled out like $5,000. So I couldn't go back the next day and pull out another $5,000. They said, no, come back in 3 days. Yeah, that there had to be a 72-hour window before I could come back and get an additional $5,000. So that's just another personal story that I have. But I have a crazy story for you here. This is crazy, and I've heard about this multiple times. But a subscriber here on the channel, they sent me an email just the other day about a deposit that he made at his local bank. Now, he didn't disclose his local bank, and honestly, I didn't really care because I've heard it multiple times from other community members. But here's what happened. He made a cash deposit. Physical cash, right? Money. That's what he deposited. And for a lot of you guys that are asking, hey, why you hold up all these hundreds? These are fake, okay? These are fake. They're just for video purposes only, okay? That's why I have these. But he deposited cash. Guess what the bank told him? The bank told him that he could take out, or he could get access to half of his cash deposit immediately. The other half, he had to wait 24 hours. So yeah. So let's say he had his $800 here that he deposited in cash. The bank said, oh yeah, you can write a check or you can do whatever with the first 400, but the other 400, you won't have access for about 24 hours. So not even cash that you put in to your bank, you can use immediately, because I guarantee you that money goes into the bank, it's coming out almost as fast. Within 24 hours, that bank will not have that money. They're going to try to lend it. They're going to try to use it for something to make money, because that's what a bank does. Here's another story that I received from a couple of community members. It was a very similar story, but one actually gave me the details of what happened. Now, in recent weeks, we've heard from a lot of community members how they've had their debit cards either lost or stolen. As a result, they end up putting holds on their cards, right? I think everybody does this. However, the bank didn't just put a hold on the card itself, they actually put a hold on the entire account. This meant the checking account. This meant multiple savings account. I believe there's 2 in this instance, and there was 2 credit cards. 5 different accounts. Guess what? So this one member, okay? The other member, again, because it's the same story, but one member didn't give me all the details. This one, she said that her mortgage wasn't paid, her 2 car payments didn't get paid that week, and her utility bill wasn't paid. 4 things didn't get paid. Mind you, this was the beginning of the month, so the account was placed on hold, and then all these payments are coming out like first, second, third of the month. Okay? When she asked the bank why they placed the entire account on hold, the bank told her it was simply out of precaution. Just in case somebody stole your checkbook as well, we wanted to make sure that you were safe. I've never heard somebody, if you steal someone's checkbook, then you gotta sign it, right? Okay. Well, should the bank be cashing a check if the signatures don't really match? Right? What's the purpose of having the signature? Right? Checks just confuse me. I've never liked checks. Anyway, after all was said and done, she says she was charged an additional $368 due to late payments on her mortgage, her utility bill, and her 2 car payments. Yeah, an additional $268. You think the bank was willing to give her an additional $268 because they made a mistake? Or to them, I guess it was a mistake. No, the bank didn't. The bank just let her kind of eat that cost. Again, one of the reasons why I like to have some cash on hand. I'm not keeping $1 million on hand. I'm not, Floyd Money Mayweather, right? I'm not doing that. I'm not keeping it in a briefcase or a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. But I'll keep a little bit of money, maybe a couple $100, right? But again, I'm not walking around with that. And then somebody the other day, they told me this story, and I thought this was just insane. And again, I'm not in a position to give legal advice, so I was just kind of very I just tried to be as here just for somebody to talk to. But the other day, I get an email that somebody said they went to their bank to do an exchange, pesos for dollars. It was a bank that they actually banked at. The bank manager told them, just leave the pesos here at the bank. They would exchange them. However, it would actually take a few days, so come back in a few days. That's exactly what they did. They came back in a few days to get the money that they exchanged. But they came back and realized the exchange didn't happen. The other issue is the bank didn't have their original currency to give back to them. They didn't have anything. And so what they told them was, come back in a week. Okay? Come back in a week. Well, it came back in a week, and there was still no answer. Again, this is a bank. They're functioning as a bank. Didn't do the exchange. Didn't have the original currency. Didn't do nothing, right? And this person banks there. Then they said to come back in another week. And then I get this email that says, I will let you know what the outcome is. That was the other day. Okay? So hopefully next week we'll have an answer. But again, that's just crazy. And I didn't realize how many bad stories there are about banks. But I started doing a little more research on banks and why so many people are recommending you pull money out of a bank. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not saying to go and do that. I'm not saying take your money and stick it under the mattress. But what I'm telling you is you got to understand the issues here. Banks, just to give you an idea, we are going to see banks over in Europe go under. I don't know which ones, okay? I was around for, Lehman Brothers. I was around for, a lot of that stuff, a lot of those big issues, okay? One of the things I can tell you is we're going to see banks go under. Again, I don't know which ones, but what I can tell you is they will. Okay? This is the writing's on the wall. Again, I'm seeing something very similar to what I saw back in 2007, 2008. But here's the issue. We're seeing the U.S. Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, say, no, the economy's doing well. President Biden says, if we go into a recession, it's going to be very slight. But again, this should be quick. This could be very quick. It might be slight. It might only be a short amount of time that we're in a recession. But again, it could dive and dive and dive. Okay? So, I just want you guys to be prepared. I want you to be aware of what is currently happening, what we could expect. Because if we see banks go under in Europe, okay, what's going to happen is the U.S. is going to feel the ripple effect. And if the U.S. feels the ripple effect, the entire world is then going to go into a global recession, okay? So that's what we are seeing at this time. Again, I can't believe some of the stories that are happening to people within the banking system. But let me know. Because again, I rely on you guys as well. I'm just one person. I only have one person's point of view and stories. But I get a lot of your guys' input, a lot of your guys' stories as well that I can share with community members. So again, let's use this platform. Let's use this channel. And if you guys have a story that you need to tell, get off your chest, and it's just burning a hole inside of you, put it down in the comment section below. Let me know what it is. Because again, I cannot believe some of the stories that I've been hearing just by the people that I've met by doing that one video a few weeks ago about why you should take some money out of the bank. So again, that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.